My parents used to dive heaps before they had me. Like, my mum was an avid diver. So when I got into diving, she was the one that bought me the open water course. And then when I got into diving, she was originally like, take it nice and slow, like start with the next course, see how you like it. And once I started diving, I was very much, I'm all in. I want to do dive master. I want to dive all the time. I want to work at pro dive. Like, I want to do this for the rest of my life. So I was a bit gung-ho about it. And she was like, calm down. But as I kept going, I think she could see that I loved it. Yeah, my dad was more proud of me becoming an instructor than he was me like finishing uni. When I started diving, I knew like I didn't have a second row. I was like, maybe this isn't for me. I was definitely like, this is pretty cool. I know I'm gonna be good at this. I know I'm only gonna get better and I'm only gonna have more fun. But then when I started doing my dive master, like fully started like professional training, I guess. And when I had such a long time before I got signed off and all these people being like, you have to do this better and you have to do this, like all this constructive feedback, I guess. That's when I kind of was like, oh, this is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. Which is good because I think that made becoming an instructor so much easier. I think it exists. Like diving exists just for enjoyment. So like, yeah, you can have all the technology and all the fancy gear, but you don't really need that. Nothing changes, but the ocean changes. And you can go to different spots and you can see different marine life. And even if you dive the same spot 100 times, like Shelley, I've dived it more than 100 times, it's different every single time. Everything changes. The fish, all the marine life. We had a massive storm last year and the entire topography of Shelley changed. So because I dive it so often, I kind of like know where all the rocks are and I know like where all the spots are. And then you go in after this massive storm and everything's changed and you have to like learn the dive site all over again. So I think that's where like the fun comes and the excitement. Like I still get excited because I know it's not going to be the same. We all love diving so much. On our days off, we still want to go diving together. And then that's created like some really strong like personal friendships, not just work friendships. And you get to meet people that you wouldn't usually like be in the same friendship circle with. So it's kind of cool. You have this group of people that are like all so different, but they come together just because they love diving. There's so many different ways that people can have a relationship with the ocean, whether it's just like walking along the beach or spending their life underwater. I was chatting to one of my friends the other day. He was like, someone asked him if he goes to the beach every day because he lives in like near the beach, and he was like, no way. I thought that was really interesting because I try to, but like for some people it's different. Like it's like a living thing. It's so vast. And it's like, I don't know, I've never really thought about it, so there's no way you can define it to someone else. It just is. It just always has been. I grew up with the ocean, so it's always been a part of my life. It's as important as like any other relationship in my life. The ocean talks to you. We can hear it from our apartment. Like you fall asleep to the sound of the waves. You can interact with animals underwater. They're part of the ocean. You can feel it. You can feel the water. You can jump into it. It's a real thing. Cool. It's less a like monetary kind of relationship where I get something out of the ocean because I work in the ocean. It's more like a internal thing where like I get enjoyment out of it, and then also the better the dive is, the more my students like it, and then I get to see them love it, and then they keep diving, and it's kind of like this follow-on thing. And then they tell their friends about it and their friends dive. Learning to conserve or save anything, you have to know about it, right? So you can't save the ocean before going into the ocean. Like there was that, like the UN are trying to save the Great Barrier Reef, but most of them have never been to the Great Barrier Reef. So they've organised this trip where people are going to dive. Like people who are on that committee are going to dive at the Great Barrier Reef, which is sick. Because like, I don't know, you just can't fix anything unless you know what it is. If something's broken, unless you know what it was originally, you can't put it back together. It's magical, but like in a way that's more real. I don't know if that makes sense, but like it's like a mixture of adrenaline and like this massive calm. It's like really hard to describe. I don't know, it's weird to think about, but you literally cannot get that feeling anywhere else. I've never found it anywhere else. So that's why I keep doing it.